Hello everybody, I'm Raphael Perry and it's time for some more Tainted Grail. And in this episode I intend to make a concerted effort to take out one of the bandit leaders. I've been giving some thought recently to the notion of growing into equipment, that is, equipping items that I don't yet meet the requirements for, gaining none of the special benefits, and slowly leveling into them as I progress. Now, in most cases, it'll be a matter of checking what the item is replacing and if I'm actually gaining any serious benefit from it. And if I'm taking a minor loss, maybe I'll do it anyway. A good example of this, then, would be... Let's just go to weapons, right? So this is almost a decent trade-off, right? These are not yet. Neither is this. We want to get the old steel mace working, but that needs 6 strength. That's going to be a while. What I might do when I get to the one-handed mace at strength 4 is compare the two. I imagine this will be slightly lower due to the 2 points of missing strength. Maybe upgrade this weapon a couple of times and then see, right? I can probably ditch that bow pretty soon. Likewise with this bow, we probably won't be equipping that until we've met at least 2 of the requirements. Armor-wise, for instance, this helmet. This helmet would be a nice improvement to our armor rating, but we would lose the 5 damage return from a Thorn helmet. Now, I do intend at some point to obtain the Hedgehog Knight skill, which will be great because it will probably be more than 5 points of damage. However, that will have to wait. And currently having that 5-point damage bounce is extremely useful when fighting groups of enemies at this low level, so I'm happy to have the lower armor value. I could even improve the Thorny helmet at a forge, and that may aid me considerably, but I'm not doing that because I'm saving up to invest in higher quality equipment. Now, there's a brigand there. I'm obviously going for Rusty Ardghal, and another one here.
We're being watched.
Right, you.
Tougher than I look.
Yeah, you say that. But a lot of evidence speaks to the contrary. Now you. I'm dealing with these now, so that I don't have to deal with them. Oh, you ducked. Interesting. I didn't know you could duck. Down exactly 30 points. Do I have something? 36, 20, 28, that'll do. Oh, I wasn't down exactly 30. Right, let's take out these wolves. And we'll be grateful we did at a later point. You'll notice the wolves don't seem to use stamina. So, parry seems to be less useful. Let's get our food ready, and this time we'll be fighting this wayward Knight of the Road without using our special power.
I'll strike you down. Back to your home, coward. You'll fall to my sword.
About that.
You are nothing but a...
Got him! and a level 2. Which I'm very tempted to take right now, actually. Because that 4th strength point would come in incredibly useful. If we just pop it here, right? There we go. We will go to strength 4. And we will mirror that with a point in unending assault to increase the damage of consecutive one-handed weapon hits. Heavy to... I mean, heavy to drain stamina would be nice, as it would unlock all the way to invigorating dance. But let's take this for now. And at this point, I'd like to point out something interesting I observed recently, which is this. We have the skill that increases damage while wielding a shield. That damage increase is displayed on these weapons. Let's say 25 to 27. Come on, you. Is now 23 to 25. Whereas if we change back up here, it's 25 to 27 again. Likewise, this 26 to 28 is actually, oh, still 26 to 28. Not that big of a deal. Although I have seen bows displaying the bonus as well, with more high-powered bows. Okay, well, we picked up a few things. Basically the same. And now, I'm tempted, I may very well use that on my return journey and kindle it to avoid night troubles. We shall see. I am anticipating the return of most of the brigands in this first half of the bridge. In fact, I see one of them. Oh, there we are. Right, okay. Nice. Now, will he come alone? He will not come alone. Okay, you.
You're no match for me. This is my lucky day. Blow for blow.
Okay.
This is going to hurt.
Okay. Oh, he caught me on the repeat.
Your road ends here. Your gold belongs to us.
Okay. Ow. Got him. Now, what I intend to do is to take all these items from their bodies and store them in a nearby chest, thus lightening my load once more for the battles to come. There should be another one or two of them near here. There's one waiting the other side of that tower. That barrel looks good. Uh-oh. I don't seem to have an option to put things in chests. In which case, I'm just going to have to rough it a bit. 3. Should probably change those for something better. Like those. There we go. Right. Over here, big hammer. Fine. Big hammer is big hammer. 7 strength. Not going to happen for a while. Now. Oh, you beauty. Really? Wow, okay. Let's just creep up in an extremely obvious manner and probably be observed. Or not, as the case may be. Maybe we're just not close enough for it to matter yet. Can we hold this bridge? Probably not. Can we make the... Oh, there we go.
This is going to hurt. You're no match for our band.
Got him. Oh, that looked nasty. Did we not... Oh, okay, I see. All is clear. I went to strength 4. I should absolutely do something about that. There we go. We now have a mace. That will aid us in the battle to come, surely. Are you in range? Probably not. If we go like this. Okay, good. And he also appears to be fighting alone, which is even better.
This is going to hurt.
Whoops, that was a mistake. I did not mean to press that button then. But I'll take it.
That's all you've got. Your wealth
Oh,
is
good.
ours.
I like that. I'll hit him again. Oh,
Your money or your life.
ah, there you are, you bastard. And his head is in our pack. You, mate. Yeah, you can come and play. Absolutely.
I won't go down easily.
There we go. Lovely. We have a single potion. Oh, big potion. Shouldn't waste that one. Okay. There we go. That healed 21 health. We don't have the cloak equipped. We don't have healthy appetite. I'm not sure where the extra healing came from. Nice to see our mana restoring. Let's pick everything up now. And by that I do mean everything. We do not wish to return here at a later date. And if all can be claimed now, then that's just magnificent. I'll do that side on the way back. This poor gentleman. Ooh, the crippling core. I think that's one of those offhand magic items that gets wielded and builds up a power. Right then, you.
You disturbed my peace.
Such a cheap shot.
That'll teach you to strike me when I got my shield out up my armor on. Right. At this point, we're pretty much preparing for a return to the Haunts. We're also aware that it's gonna get late. I mean, yeah, and dangerous too. We do have a bonfire we could use, or we could try fight our way back through the weird night. Ooh, hard, okay. I think we got lucky there. Right. Okay. I think we have some new books. Flasks of Havoc. A Guide to Splash Concoctions by Rian. It's probably just Ran. The Restless. A good throw can win a fight before it even starts. That's where splash concoctions come in. Quick, brutal, and impossible to ignore. Chilling Splash Concoction. A shock of unnatural cold, numbing flesh and slowing movement. Perfect for stalling pursuers or making sure a foe's sword arm turns sluggish. A Burning Splash Concoction. A volatile brew that clings like tar and burns like fury. Fire alone is bad enough, but when it sticks, it becomes pure agony. Razor Splash Concoction. Not all wounds come from blades. Shards suspended in liquid cut deep, shredding flesh and leaving victims bleeding with every step. Poison Splash Concoction. A corrupting mixture that seeps into wounds, lungs and skin. The unlucky will choke, stumble and weaken, their bodies betraying them. Flaming Concoction. For when fire needs no patience. It ignites on impact, setting anything or anyone ablaze in an instant. Each is a weapon in its own right. Learn their uses well and your enemies won't know what hit them, only that it hurts. We now have a number of alchemical recipes and then a practical guide to profitable armour by Ulrich the Gravedigger. Look, I spent years digging graves, and if there's one thing I learned, it's this. Dead men don't need their skin, or their bones, or much of anything really. A shame to let it all rot when it could be put to good use. Take drowners, for example. Their skin turns tough from soaking in filth, almost like rawhide. Dry it out, treat it with salt and oil, and it makes a fine layer of padding. Light, flexible, and good against the cold. If you're feeling fancy, reinforce it with boiled leather. Then there are the undead grave walkers, the poor sods who crawl out of their coffins. Their bones, though, still solid. Grind 'em, mix 'em with resin, you've got a fine sealant for armour. Keeps rust at bay and smells better than corpse gas. Now, I won't claim this work is noble, but a man's got to make a living. And if the dead can help, why not let 'em? Waste not, want not, I say. This has been improved because gauntlets have been added. Okay, we have a new alternate helmet, not as good as our 6 armor helmet. Aged metal vest, nowhere near as close. And of course, the bone club that Ardghal was using. That damage display will obviously include the shield buff of 5%. After killing an enemy, attacks cost 50% less stamina for 8 seconds, so maybe it's like 21 to 23 or even 20 to 22. In which case it's almost as much as our one-handed mace because we're missing 3 points of strength. That's okay. Now I believe we may need to check on the chest at the top of that tower because we might not have plundered it last time. In fact, I'm fairly certain we did not. I think we got these barrels though. I'm not sure because we should have alerted that man last time, surely. Okay. Yep. What about you? Come on. There we go. We could reach the sack in the back. And yes, if your mind is that way inclined, I know what that might have sounded like to you. Let the big tent peg looking like a massive dark coin on the floor. Actually, how do you hammer a tent peg down into paving stones like that? That's not even cobblestones. That is a nightmare. I think it's going into the stone as well, not the gap between the stones. That's really impressive. Must have been Ardghal's massive, great big bone pulverizer. Now we got a chest here. It's always instinct and a bit of a gamble on the first position. Okay, just mainly big potions, which would have come in very useful in that fight. But that's okay. Speaking of which, we should probably make some more potions when we get back to the keep. I think I've done relatively well this episode so far. I'm not sure quite when I started. It's not really worth checking. It looks like it was only 10 or 20 minutes ago. Which means I'll need to find things to do in the open world, including getting back. Okay, I think we put on... I can't really call it a burst of speed. Let's just call it some continuous motion towards our target. We probably won't get to claim the reward for our duty before night falls, although we might if we're incredibly lucky. It would be quicker to go straight through the settlement, and we've cleared some of it already. That makes it very tempting. We also have our bonfire there to fall back to if night falls. However, if night does fall, if we put down a second bonfire, does that one just go away, I wonder? That would make sense, but might not be much of the case. The evening music is playing when it's not quite... Oh, I suppose it's 7:45. Okay, fine. I think we just push on. I see a wicked man who wishes for death. His wish was granted. And now that we have a quality two-handed weapon, we may consider improving our two-handed weapon skill more seriously. Not that we have one we're capable of using very effectively though, so let's just... No enemy notifications on the map. So I think it's fairly safe to continue. Oh, no, okay. Well, we can practice our two-handed weapon use ever so slightly. You know what, let's get his attention. You! Quite probably. There we go. Now we're seeing the weird night beginning to encroach upon us. I imagine we'll need to rest and report for our rewards in the morning. Then chop some logs. And I think I'll put most of my crafting supplies in storage, because that will take a long time. Abigor is still sitting there resting, and he will remain there until we go and converse with him. Although occasionally we see him sit down, so he does stand up sometimes. Abigor is someone I've met in early access. He's not very friendly and challenges us to a duel. Now, if you've paid any attention to the state of our equipment, we are in no fit condition to be engaging in single combat against a man as heavily equipped and probably highly skilled as he is. I'm going to presume that he has the skills to use that equipment. His arrogance certainly implies it. And it's a cold, low arrogance. It's not the bragging or false bravado of one who just egotistically assumes he's capable of anything and everything. And his offer of a duel is a fight to the death. And the weird night has descended. Where? I heard the whoom, I heard the bell. Let's get inside and get some sleep. Actually, you know what? We could put stuff in storage now before we go to bed. While everyone else is sleeping. This would also enable us to go check up on the wood chopping block, which we probably won't use till morning anyway, as we still have repairs to make to the coastal village. It does feel safe and somewhat calming to be back in the keep. And yes, the 2 bonfires in the courtyard do mean we could rest outside, but it's going to be so much more comfortable sleeping in one of those beds that it just feels much more worth it. I should also probably try to get to know some of the other keepers in the castle a bit better. We haven't met many of the ones who stand guard on the walls yet. Since we can craft directly from the stash without having to take things out of it, it's almost the only reason to really carry things is for quick reference, such as if I'm going to go visit the cook, let's say, to buy crafting ingredients, just so that I know what I have available to me. Now, the annoying thing, of course, is having to confirm anything with a stack greater than 1. Even if it's just 2. But I could presumably just stock up on everything and just go like this on this entire tab. By which point I'm obviously still heavily overburdened, but that will be another matter come the morning, when I've managed to offload stuff to Osbert and Orla. Now I think I'm going to need strength 5 for any sort of serious two-handed weapon, so that's going to be a while coming just yet. So I think the best example of growing into something would be these chipped knight's gauntlets, which require 5 strength. 3.2 weight, 4 weight. So to keep our weight high, it might be worth it to stop slipping down into medium weight, but we're a long way off medium weight. So for instance, there's no point equipping one of these just yet. I should probably also just put these in the chest until I've got another 1 or 2 points of dexterity at least. What have we got? Oh, I see. Right, fine. Not entirely sure when we picked that up, but apparently it counts as new. Looks like there's 10 wood on the block. Let's go get ourselves a nice bit of rest And maybe there'll be more than 10 wood in the morning. I may not be able to donate the 50 wood from the stash for working on the repairs at the beach. I might need to actually carry them up. And what am I currently trying to make for the blacksmith? Festering items. Okay. Well, we don't even meet the requirements for the objects we made from the corpse eaters. So, drowners, festering, weak. Okay, good. Actually, the best chances of better than weak, but because there's still a worse chance. Okay. So we want a lot of leather. A lot of leather. We might be able to make 9 endurance, 7 endurance, 5 strength, 5 endurance. We could qualify for these. They'd be a lower armor, but they'd give us an extra point of maximum stamina and some stamina regeneration. Now, our stamina regeneration is already quite high, but a little more wouldn't hurt. So, maximum stamina increases are good, although we'd be losing a lot of armor to do it. However, if on our next level we put a point into endurance, we could equip festering arm guards. If we put it into strength, we could equip the chipped knight's gauntlets. We could equip the chipped knight's gauntlets anyway, if we so desired. And at this point, it wouldn't quite be an armor improvement. Let's just sleep. I was checking that was rope. It highlighted the oats inside the crate. Don't ask why. It just did. Since I'm crossing the courtyard to see Orla anyway, I might as well stop by Killian and get my rewards. There is a sizable experience award for taking out a bandit leader. I'm not sure it'll be enough to level us, but it'll get us really close.
Please, state your business.
I'd like to collect a bounty for bandits.
Again? You really like killing, don't you?
Well, I also took care of one of the bandit leaders.
Oh, someone finally checked out the notices I was posting on the board.
I did indeed, and here is Rusty Ardghal's head to prove it.
You managed to kill Rusty Ardghal? Well, well. A few months back, he supposedly took out a high-ranking red priest, so the big shots of Camelot were eager to see him dead. But it was you who finally pulled it off, and from what I hear, he was a tough bastard, surrounded by a gang of killers. Congratulations, and here's your reward.
He was indeed.
Go chop off some heads.
Both of those things. Surrounded by
the hunter
killers
waits.
being the second. 1100 experience, which has placed us pretty close to leveling. I like it. I want to make really good stuff so badly and replace this stuff with better items. However, those items will be very heavy, and I should probably just work up to it. +1 if I go, because I'm not sure what kind of quality I'm going to get. Oh, wait. There we are. Right. Orla, my love, I come bearing absolute dog shit, which you will pay me for. I kind of feel like one of those antiques programs where people who think they're really good go on and buy a load of money and make a massive loss at auction. That's a downgrade. Even this is... let's put those there. don't need 2 of those or 2 of those. We don't need this. Ooh. 28 to 31, 29 to 33, 27. So that's got a wider range and a cheaper cost. That's got a tighter range. Okay, 3, 3. This may be worth considering equipping in a level or two's time. I can sell those. Let's part with some of these. I don't need 3 pairs of those. And I don't need these. Okay. Excellent. You know what? If we get rid of a few more of these, we're going to have to get rid of quite a lot of them, aren't we, to lighten our load. Okay. Okay, if I just part with one of those. 5. Okay, the dented helmet is heavier, but apart from that, the same. I imagine it's not heavier, but just more uncomfortable wear, so it counts as being heavy. I don't need to carry these, so I could store them, couldn't I? Okay. Excellent. Now we have speed, allegedly. Yep, we have speed. We should probably go meet some more of the inhabitants of the keep. But for now, let's go meet the blacksmith and offload some more of these items. Right, yeah, good. That gate appeared to be open for a moment, and that was concerning.
Hope nothing bad happens today.
Well now, that is a gorgeous, beautiful book. Those items are very nice armor that I would like to have. But since I don't come close to meeting the requirements just yet, I can hold off for a little. Uh, 1.8. 8.6. Bloody hell, that's heavy. Okay. You know, that needs 3 dexterity. So does that, and it's much better. But it also needs 5 strength. Okay. Oh, that is actually a very powerful bow. Oh, okay. So is this, mind you. And if I make the requirements of this, I only need 3 points of spirituality and 1 point of dexterity to meet this one. Which is an incredibly powerful piece of equipment. I'm just going to ditch this to avoid the temptation to use it. I have one of these already. I'll keep that. Okay, okay. Now, I didn't need to put that point into strength, but I believe it certainly helped. We still need 2 or 3 levels to get this cape in order. Alright, I'll sell those to Orla sometime later. You have leather, don't you? Yes, you do. What I should do... Ooh. Wow. Okay. 45, 47... So same crafting chances for each of these, and 4, 10, 12, so I can almost double the resources. Big chance of worse. Okay. You know what, that's pretty good, I'll go for it. We did very well there. And I'll keep those, as armor value aside, they may be quite the upgrade. I should also work on lots of arrows. And just keep pushing that skill up. And I should... 11 wood. 11? Could have sworn I had like 31. Oh well, I'll need some more then. And since we're in this area anyway... Ah, 12 wood. Okay, wonderful. Since we're in this area anyway, let's go and meet some of the keepers over here. I believe I've spoken to that one already. Let's... I think I'll go visit this one first.
The less attention, the better.
I like to imagine this is there just to stop anyone come hurtling along here and just fall down the gap. Okay, there's a gap. You could get a leg down there. Not sure a whole person could fall down. Maybe an animal could, like a chicken or something. Speaking of which, I do appear to see chickens.
Watch the feet.
Whoa, what, mine or yours?
Your feet and my priceless seedlings. I swear your nosiness will be the death of you.
Okay, can I speak to you across the... I can. Look, I'm sorry, I just got here and I don't know you.
I'm Owen, and this is what I do here.
I'll get rained on. I'm apparently being pushed around by a ginormous chicken. Why keep a garden on the roof? Because it'll rain.
It's safe. I can keep an eye on it, and I can chase off the seagulls. And when the weirdness comes, and the dead start rising up from their graves, then a rooftop garden will be much safer than one on the ground.
By which means the dead will be less likely to trample over it. What's the point of having a rooftop garden that you clearly don't let anyone into? He can care for it, of course. Do you have trouble with the seagulls?
No, I can handle a few seagulls. I'm not like that idiot Gwilyn.
I see. Are you always this welcoming?
Always.
Alright then. Do you need anything?
I have everything I need. And you, the fly in the ointment.
So you really don't want me here?
To talk to plants to help them grow. I'm not going to waste my breath on people.
Fair enough. It seems we've done all our growing already. Although in my case, I'm still recovering from
Everything will be just fine.
a nasty wasting condition. You know what? Let's feel the rain in our hair a bit. What do you want me to... Again, it's an armor downgrade with none of the benefits yet. I'll hold off for now. Although that 3.5 is so close to 4, I will absolutely take it when I meet the endurance requirement. Hopefully to eventually be replaced with something more durable. Hello.
Bloody seagulls! Can you hear me? You flying vermin! Just try landing here and I'll pluck your asses clean. A keep by the sea. What a great idea that was. And what do you want?
Seagulls? Why are you so fixated on the gulls, my friend?
I'm fixated. Me? Oh, you didn't see what they did to me a week ago. I was just standing watch as usual, and then, suddenly, splat. A dozen of them flying overhead, screeching, shitting and whatnot. So I yelled what I think about them, shaking my fist. And then another 4, splat, and they kept screeching.
Yeah, they do
I
that.
tell you, they're laughing at me. I spent all night cleaning my armor. Sewell didn't think it through when he decided where to put the keep, mark my words.
I suppose I didn't like what you said about him.
But I don't like how you seem to think I'm a fool. So, what now? Should I shit on you for that? I don't think so. I once managed to shoot a few. I thought they'd learned their lesson and wouldn't be flying over here anymore. And guess what they did? They kept shitting with increased force. Like they're planning it. Vengeful scoundrels. I need to try a different strategy. Find something that will make them feel real terror. Like the way crows are afraid of scarecrows in fields. I'm sure seagulls also have something that scares them. We just need to find out what it is.
Right. You know, I could maybe try and help you, if you want. Not sure how.
Thank you. I just need you to bring me some kind of a bird scarer. They'll learn their lesson and keep away from me.
Now, do you think they're shitting just on you and just on this part of the castle, or the whole castle? Do you know anyone who might know something about seagulls?
I don't know. I'm not sure if there's anyone crazy enough to take up something like this. There is one guy in the museum, Riderick. He's supposed to know everything.
Indeed. I'll be going over to see him at some point later. Now, at this point, I could obviously tell the joke about the pirate with the hook and the eye patch. But I think I'll tell another one instead. Could sling both in there if you wanted. But no, I'm going with this one. So, there's a couple of statues in a park. A statue of a man and a statue of a woman. And the two statues are standing, gazing at each other, as statues do. And one night an angel comes down from heaven and he says to the two statues, God has watched you standing there loving each other for so long that he's given me a special power, and I'm going to turn you into living, breathing humans so that you can love your life together because of the purity of your life. And he turns them into people and goes back up to heaven. And the man and the woman run off into the bushes. And there's this rustling around and strange sounds. And it made, after a while they come out a bit dishevelled. And one of them says to the other one, "Oh, that was great, that was amazing. Yeah, wow, that was wonderful. I can't believe it. Let's go do it again." And the other one says, "Yeah, but this time you hold the pigeons and I'll shit on them."
Were you at the pledge? I didn't see you.
He sounds a bit slow. I'm new here. I'm still learning how the place works, so probably not. I could say I'm just passing by. I don't serve. This might imply I'm pretending to be one of them. This is... But no, just say, look, I'm still learning how you guys do things, right?
Yeah. Victory over health. Honor over life.
Are you alright? You look tired.
Yeah. Bandits, tribes, Sodom all. Sleep, damn it, is the worst son of a bitch I ever fought. No sleeping now. The service is eternal. Where would we be if Seawall took naps all the time? You need to serve. Not...
Yeah, but you won't be able to serve if you're asleep on your feet. It'll kill you. You need some rest.
I shut my eyes for about 15 minutes every day, sometimes 20. Besides, a true keeper doesn't sleep. He keeps watch. The Old Mother will reward me after I'm dead. But I'm not gonna lie. That potion from Eber, our physician, works miracles. You could stand on the walls all day and night and not even think about closing your eyes.
Sounds like there may be side effects or a good reason why he's not letting you have it. Perhaps it has rare ingredients. Could you ask him for more of it if you're that obsessed with not sleeping?
What? Listen, pal, I never asked. I just came in the evenings when I was getting sleepy and took it. And then Yan put it somewhere else. Keeper's vigor. Good stuff.
So you were stealing from him?
Excuse me? Those were local supplies for every keeper. Shit. Maybe I was stealing. Oh, I never thought about it like that.
Yeah, if you weren't stealing from him, you were stealing from the other keepers. So they couldn't get their fair share of his wonderful potion. Maybe if I'd taken the other option, it would have opened up a little quest or objective to try and get some of the potion for him. Still, I think he really could do without it. That's a long drop down, and while it might be nice to practice my jumping skill, that looks like a very, very dangerous drop, so I'm not going to tackle that just yet. So I think we've covered this portion of the keep. And
just keep your head down.
Actually, mate, it's probably better if you're looking up so you can see them coming and get out of the way. Alright. Let's head back in and go around the other side. There's no wood back yet, obviously. I'm going to check storage to see how much wood I have in there. I don't think I've wasted a load of it. Perhaps I was mistaken about the amount of wood that I had. Okay, let's see. Oh, only 11. Okay, there we go. Well, I'll pick it up so that I can keep track of it better. That is another reason for carrying things. Keeping those, obviously. 5 spirituality. Ooh. Yep, those are much nicer coloration. Right. I mean, I think the swords are looking like a slightly better deal there. I don't need 2 of those. Okay. Should I? Yeah, let's make some potions. Why not? Jan, my man. Let's trade. I'm avoiding his task just yet. Origin potion. There's a rumour on the forum that there's a bug with origin potions, or rather a feature. Some people claim that consuming an origin potion strips away all permanent benefits gained from quests, shrines, books, things like that that give you permanent benefits. And you know what? Ooh. Do I have... I could have sworn. Well, let's find out. I do not. Okay. So I could start making larger health potions at this point. I'll hold off because I'm going to need those for something else later on. There we go. We've improved our skill and gained some experience points. Right, I'm gonna head across this way, up onto the battlements over there, do that side of the keep and sweep around the eastern gate. Not sure I'll do everyone on the path, because it might be nice to spread them out over multiple episodes. And we could go out and do a bit more fighting for experience points, gather some resources, do some crafting. But for now, let's go visit this gentleman here.
What do you think of scale armor?
What?
Scale armor. What do you think of it? The ones all the keepers wear.
Doesn't protect the limbs very much. I suppose there's probably better out there.
Sure. Maybe it's easy to make and doesn't restrict movement, but it doesn't provide the best protection. Someone just needs to stab you between the scales and you're done for. Lamellar armor is much better. That will prevent you from being run through with a polearm or getting shot with a bow. It's also much more comfortable.
Right. The scales of scale armor overlap. These aren't necessarily the best example of it, and there's not that many gaps to get through. Lamellar armor has oblong or rectangular plates which do not overlap and simply are placed next to each other in rows. Looks a little bit like samurai armor. A little bit. How do you know so much about armor?
I read a lot about it. In Volume 4 of the Armourer's Almanac, Arden Shadowblade describes the differences between various types of armour. For example, chainmail allows for a good range of movement, but it's heavy. It also provides poor protection against blunt weapons, and its production is laborious.
Laborious. Well, not quite. Mail allows a good range of movement. It's heavy. It doesn't provide much protection against blunt weapons, but actually axes are better against mail because of the curved blade and the wider striking edge, whereas swords are likely to glance off or glide off, and blunt weapons will pummel you, but you'll wear padding underneath it unless you're a complete idiot, which is why the blunt weapons aren't going to... Blunt weapons will be more effective against plate armor, axes against mail, swords against leather or light armor. Roughly. And that's a gross oversimplification. Who's Arden Shadowblade?
Shadowblade is a moniker. Arden is passionate about weapons and armour. He has great knowledge of materials, techniques and history. A true expert. Everything he writes is interesting. I would love to meet him one day.
Would you now? So you've never worn any other armour apart from what you're wearing now? Even before you became a keeper?
No, but I have knowledge from books and a lot of thoughts on the subject, so I know what it would be like to wear different armour.
Are they taking the piss out of certain YouTubers? They might be. Why don't you tell the quartermaster or the blacksmith that lamellar armour is better?
I told them, but they both said I know jack shit. Besides, the keepers rarely go outside the walls nowadays. Then the quartermaster added that if I don't like our equipment, he could send me out scouting in just my underwear.
Then maybe don't raise the topic anymore with them.
Perhaps you're right. But if somebody ever stabs me under the scales, I'll go straight to the quartermaster and give him an earful.
Do you know how to make lamellar armour?
Oh, of course. I mean, I've never made one. I'm not an armourer. But I've read so much about it that I'm sure it won't be a problem. Here's the page from the Armourer's Almanac that explains the process.
Okay, reading about it is good, but having the practical crafting knowledge and skill to be able to do it is another matter. It's like watching a martial arts film and believing you instantly could do all the moves. You could certainly try, and you might hurt yourself due to the lack of practice and training. I don't mean like serious injuries, I mean like strain something or sprain something. Now, although serious injuries could probably occur as well. Let's see, The Armourer's Almanac Volume 4 by Ardghal Shadowblade. I designed my lamellar armour based on an illustration from page 38 of Merfin's The Great War, likely from the late 3rd or early 4th century. The original depicted Camelot's infantry wearing lamellar plates bound with leather straps. I replaced the leather with steel, prioritizing chest protection. So, you deviated from the original design, which worked. The armour passed my shooting test of 5 bolts from 10 steps, only 2 partially penetrated. While some might criticise the steel's tempering or the crossbow's tension, the results still validate the armour's strength. The design offers excellent mobility. Lamellar does not offer excellent mobility, likely even better in its original form. It surpasses scale armour in protecting against upward strikes, and is faster to produce than chainmail or plate. And best of all, it looks fantastic. Well, the thing about lamellar armour is it wasn't really necessarily used in full suits, so much as like, you know, breastplates, shields, a few sort of like a few plates here and there. Hello, who are you?
Hey, tell me, can you read?
Yes, I can. Why?
Listen, I'm no good with words. Could you read me a letter from my sister? She's learning how to read and write. Can you believe it? She writes letters. To me, I'm so proud of her.
Yeah, I'll read it for you.
Oh, thanks. Here's the letter.
Here we go. Letter from a keeper's sister, with no capital letters in it. Brother, it ain't good news, sorry. Few Red Priests came. They wanted to take Mum and some other folks because of the plague. Our dad and some other man did not agree. There was fight and father got killed. Now I'm taking care of Mum. She's feeling more and more weak. We don't know if the priests are going to come back or what. It's hard, but she asked me to send her love and tell you to keep going and do good things, because that's the most important thing. It's me, Enid. I'm praying for you. Oh, that's rough.
And what did it say? Everyone's healthy?
I'm not gonna lie. I'd need perception 6 to lie anyway. Look, I'm sorry. Something really terrible has happened.
No, you must have misunderstood something. What do I do now? I don't know. I don't know what to do. I should go back to him, right?
Oh, you might get caught. You'd be accused of desertion and killed. But I think you really should go to them. You'll hate yourself if you don't. I think you should go to them.
I have to think of something. I don't know. Sorry, I have to think.
Of course. I mean, I don't think you should desert. I think you should speak to the quartermaster. He'll say, no, you can't go. Captain's orders, no one's allowed out. It's tricky. I'm not sure if he is allowed to resign from his post. Probably not, actually. I mean, he's had the training, they don't want to lose him. Now that is an even greater... Hello? Hello. That almost looks like it's worth exploring, but I don't see a good way down. I think I... Nope, I did not just find the way down. Oh, damn it, now I'm trapped in there. Okay. Well... I'll see if I can... Doesn't look like there's anything significant up there. Greetings.
Are you here to keep me company or put me out of my misery?
What?
Just kidding. Love the view, but this weather is killing me.
What? It's nice and dry at the moment, but, is it always this windy up here?
Always windy. Always moist.
Yeah, you're by the coast. Perhaps your clothes are too thin.
You don't say. I didn't choose to be here. Our beloved quartermaster sent me to freeze my arse off. He said as punishment for spitting on the good name of the keepers. Whatever the hell that means. I just got drunk in the tavern and lost half my pay. And maybe some of my clothes. But I mean, why would he even care? It was my gold. I can spend it how I please.
So, I assume there's something you need while you're up here?
Oh, I need a warm coat. And I mean the absolute warmest coat you can get, huh? Osprey might have something in stock or know how to make one. I'd ask myself, but he's not exactly speaking to me these days.
Well, look, what happened between you and the blacksmith?
Stupid. That's what I was. I may or may not have commented on our blacksmith's skill.
Oh, I see.
I gave him a blade to sharpen, and when I got it back, it was still dull. Osprey swore he did his job properly. I said he's getting old. And so on and so forth, until it turned out that my mate had played a trick on me. Swapped my sword with another one that was as dull as a stump.
What an arsehole.
I tried to make amends with Osprey, but the old man's pride is as stiff as his steel. Can't say I blame him. Now, here I am, frozen to the bone and in need of a hand. You got one to spare?
You know what? I'll see if I can get you something.
Thanks, friend. I knew I could count on you.
Maybe Osbrit can teach me to make a warm coat. Okay, nobody down there that I haven't spoken to already. There might be someone up here, but I doubt it. Anyway, it looks like we're going back to the blacksmiths again. And that's probably not an entirely bad thing. If I ask, will he know what it's for? Quite probably. But not necessarily. Hey. I need a warm coat.
Huh. It's for Dan, isn't it? That ungrateful bastard's still on the wall.
Yeah, he told me about your disagreement. That perception has got to be increased.
Disagreement? Sure, you could call it that. I guess I might have overreacted a bit. But since Dan is on the wall and I'm here, I couldn't tell him that I get it. The prank and all. And I forgave him a long time ago. Now that I think about it, it was a hell of a prank.
So, you're not angry about it then?
Well, he was right. I am old, but inefficient, stung a little bit. After all, I did my job well, and his sword is as sharp as Excalibur itself.
I see, but now he doesn't have that sword, unless he got it back. How about the coat?
Well, I may not be angry with him anymore, but that doesn't mean I'll work my ass off so that
No,
his
but can I
doesn't
make
freeze. Here's an explanation of how to make it. Feel free to help me out yourself.
Maybe I can make 2. One for myself, one for him. Grants additional optimal dash. Well, well, well. Oh, no chances of different quality? Made. Now, we can also make Arden Shadowblade's lamellar armor, while we have the iron and the wolf's pelts. It looks too good to be true. And it is. It's useless. You should have known better. Right. But we don't want to make it anymore. Festering, you know. Oh, that's good. Hang on then. These are good crafting chances. Okay. So 4, 10. So if I go to 7. Yeah. Now we're talking pretty good odds of a good item. Let's go with that. Throw in a bit of metal as well, just to up it. Okay, we made a good helmet. And then for the body, we'll throw in all of these. Right. And those. And if we drop a few of these in as well, go to 12. Bit wasteful, I know. That should be pretty decent. There we go. Right. Let's make more leather from wolf pelts. We've still not got a good chance of making any decent leather items, but we're working on it. And that's okay for now. I made the armor based on your notes.
Damn, you're getting the hang of this quicker than most. Tell you what, you've earned the chance to try something more advanced. I've got a pattern I've been sitting on, and if you get it right, you'll have armor so good, even I might get jealous.
Oh, really now?
Oi, friend. You went and made armor based on the Armor's Almanac, didn't you? I should have warned you. That's a terrible idea. Those books are the biggest load of crap I've ever come across. And I've talked to Hrolf when he's had a few too many.
Oh? Oh, the conspiracy theory keeper. Got it. Alar said it would be better than the armor worn by the keepers.
Yeah, well, Alar is a fanatical follower of that Shadowblade. He's read a couple of those books, and suddenly he thinks he knows my trade better than I do after 40 years in a forge. He even had the nerve to argue with me. Now, I told him I can hammer your face just as easily as this steel. Well, that shut him up quick.
I can tell you don't really respect this Arden Shadowblade very much.
Arden Shitblade, you mean? Of course I don't respect him. That fool is ruining the reputation of every armorer out there. No one knows who he is or why his nonsense even gets published. But plenty of people would love to get their hands on him. I'd gladly get rid of him myself.
You want to get rid of someone just because you don't like his books.
You don't get it. Those books, they are dangerous. Think about it. Somebody reads that nonsense, makes armor, and then heads out into the world. What do you think will happen? They sure as hell won't become a Knight of the Round Table. First Grindelow they come across will punch right through that garbage armor.
Yeah, Grindelows can be pretty dangerous. You know, the person who believes everything they read is just as dangerous, really.
And you don't think the one writing this nonsense, testing people's faith, is at fault? Because I sure do. To me, that shadow blade is dangerous, and someone needs to put an end to it. Well, if you could find him, knock some sense into his empty head, and cut off his hands, so he'd never write another book. I would cover you in gold.
What if Arden Shadowblade is a rival armourer who's writing bad instructions and slagging off other armourers' work while still producing his own stuff, right? Just to do other blacksmiths out of business. You know what? Do you know where he might be?
I've got no idea. Maybe Allah knows something. He's the biggest admirer of that charlatan I've ever met. He's been trying to share the wisdom of those books, but I chased him off and haven't seen him since.
Right, well, I'll have a look for him. See what I can find.
Thank you. You'll not only make this old smith happy, but the entire guild will be grateful.
Right. Do I have anything to sell that I've got to hold on to this and this? So no, nothing to immediately part with. Oh, I don't need two of these though. There we go. Don't need that either. Okay. Right. Festering armor completed. Drowner's armor. Now I think we already have the patterns for Drowner's armor from another book. So let's go see the key. I'm not going to get to him this way, am I? No. Keep it down. Oh wait, maybe I will. Actually, I can take the scenic route along the battlements, can't I? Practice my running skills a little. Before I meet Allah again. Here's your coat.
Oh, thank you, friend. Let me repay your kindness. Even though I don't have much, I can at least tell you about something I saw a little while ago.
Oh?
It might be interesting for an adventurer like you. See those rocks near the shore? When it gets dark, sometimes I see a light there. I'm not sure what it could be though. A bandit camp this close to the Horns? Impossible. The Daliata? No way. They wouldn't hide like that. Maybe something else entirely? It's probably nothing, but maybe you could find something interesting or valuable there.
Thanks.
Farewell.
So, rocks near the shore. Investigate the shore. Okay. Oh, I think I know where that might be. Alright. Well, we got something to follow up on. Excellent. Let's have a little run. Easy on the steps. Has he gone away? I think he has. I hope he doesn't get into trouble. Perhaps I should go speak to his superior, and he probably won't mention it. I made the armour according to the instructions you gave me.
Oh, right. The lamellar armour from the Armourer's Almanac. I remember. So how did it turn out?
It's absolute crap.
That's impossible. You must have made a mistake. I'm sure it wouldn't have turned out like that if you had followed Arden's instructions properly.
Well, then perhaps I need to meet this Arden Shadowblade myself. Do you know where I could find him?
Depends. Why do you ask?
Well, I want to get rid of him so he can't write any more of that garbage. That's probably not the right answer. He's rather mysterious. I'm curious to find out who he really is. You know what? I would like him to sign my copy of the Armourer's Almanac.
Oh, that's my dream too. would you take my copy of the first volume with you, just in case you meet Shadowblade? Because I know where to find him. The almanac isn't printed by Arden himself, but in Timberwall, based on his manuscripts. In the first editions, they accidentally included not only Arden's name and pen name, but also his place of residence. I paid a good sum to get a copy, but here it is.
Why, thank you. That's remarkably helpful.
No problem. I'll lend you this copy. But don't forget to get it signed.
Right. He might sign it if it's the last thing he does. Okay. The Armourer's Almanac, Volume 1, First Edition. By Arden Shalebrook, Cuanacht, Avalon. Full plate armour is the undisputed queen of all armours. Thick, forged steel plates that completely cover the body are considered nearly impossible to pierce. Unfortunately, producing plate armour is incredibly expensive and I couldn't afford it, so I decided to run a few tests using just a breastplate. I crafted the breastplate myself from a steel plate, but about a centimetre thick. I based it on the front part of Sir Lancelot's cuirass from an illustration in the book The Knights of the Round Table by Seamus of Camelot. It's not an exact replica, of course, but it's as close as I could get to the original. I mounted it on a sandbag to simulate a human torso and put it to the test. Neither a one-handed sword nor a spear could penetrate the armour, only leaving small dents. Crossbow bolts from a 160-kilogram draw weight fired at close range left minor punctures, but none went through the sandbag. This confirmed what I already suspected. Killing, or even wounding a knight in full plate would take either superhuman strength or a miracle, because the plate is worn over mail, which is worn over padding, which is worn over clothes. And we have a couple of jobs here. I'm going to hold off on the irrational or rational hatred of seagulls until I have spoken with Elaine and she has also instructed me to go see Riderick in the museum. That's a very angry looking seagull. Blade in the Shadows is in a different region. It'll take me some time to get to it. Drowner's Armour, sure. Investigate the shore, again, fine. Keep it down. Strange activity on the beach below. Stronghold, I should investigate. Okay. I can absolutely investigate the beach. And I think I might know where to go as well. In which case, it might be worth paying a visit to Heber first. And taking on a little favour for him as well. But not quite yet. Because I think I've gone on for long enough and it's nearing time to end the episode. Yeah. How are we doing for that level? It's a bit of a way off. That's okay though. We can put our helmet back on. 2.1. So that would be an improvement. That's a long way off being an improvement. What else have we got? That, again, would need to raise our ability scores significantly. I should absolutely sell this garbage.
Sometimes it's nice to just sit and think.
It almost feels insulting to hand it to Osbert, but I'm sure he will dispose of it responsibly. Additionally, if we now go to the crafting bench, I believe the recipe has been removed from us. So we cannot make that absolute mistake again. If we... okay. We're nearly good enough to start making leather items. And we need more wood. And 25 more wood at least. Okay. Oh, yeah, I was talking about upgrades, wasn't I? I was talking about upgrading this. For 130. Yeah, I'll do that. Just for once, mind. As it is a magnificent piece of equipment. And it might be worth equipping it at strength 5. Maybe. We'll see. Hang on. I can sell that, can't I? I've got this 33 to 30. Yeah. 28. It's just better all round. Okay, I've convinced myself. And here we go. Excellent. Nice to see our carry weight remaining nice and low. Alright. Well, I think I'm going to... Oh, hang on. Do I have an idea? I think I have an idea. Right. I could go do the dungeon over there for the All Along the Watchtower quest, which would probably get us 2 levels given how close we are to 9. And that would help significantly with equipment. Investigate the shore. Yeah, okay, so we want to go see Lady Elaine. Come back up. Okay, so if we go see Lady Elaine, come back up, go into Roderick's museum, ask for access to the dungeon, come back down here. I mean, that's basically the next episode all planned out, right? We might then have some time to go in the dungeon as well. Excellent. In which case,
it's nice to have a break.
In which case we do... Let's try a bit of cooking first before we go to bed. I mean, we've been cooking potions anyway. But we are working on our skill. Excellent. I could go ask for permission now, but I'm not going to do that. I will rest and get myself pointed firmly at the village on the shore for the next episode. That seems like a reasonable and responsible thing to do. Alright, well, we've made some good progress. We've taken out a brigand leader. Gained another level. And we're all doing well. We've completed a few tasks around the keep. Ingratiated ourselves with the keepers even more. So that will improve the odds of us being granted access to the captain who we have waited so long to speak to. And we should try to find out more about why people are referring to the Knights of the Round Table as the current version, as if they reincarnate or something more gruesome, presumably to do with necromancy. Next level, ability score point will probably be going into dexterity or practicality, to be honest, because we do need to work on those for the cloak, but also endurance. I know the game's trying to push me down a strength heavy route, but I want to be able to take a hit if I'm going to deal some out. Alright, I'm going to end this one here, with me pointing at the gate as a nice little reminder of what I intend to do next. I hope you've all enjoyed this episode, and I'll look forward to seeing you all in the very next one. I'll say goodbye for now though, and cheerio everyone. See you all soon.